Exodus 39. And of the blue and purple and scarlet stuff they made finely wrought garments for serving in the holy place. They made the holy garment for Aaron, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And Bezalel made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet stuff, and fine twined linen. And they beat the gold into thin sheets and cut it into wires to work with the blue, purple, and scarlet stuff and the fine linen in skilled design. They made shoulder pieces for the ephod, joined to it at its two edges, and the skillfully woven band on it to gird it on was one of the same piece and workmanship with it, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet stuff, and fine twined linen, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And they prepared the onyx stones enclosed in settings of gold filigree, and engraved as a signet, or engraved with the names of the sons of Israel. And he put them on the shoulder. Pieces of the ephod to be stones of memorial or remembrance for the Israelites, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And Bezalel made the breastplate skillfully like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet stuff, and fine twined linen. The breastplate was a hand-span square when doubled over, and they set in it 4 rows of stones, a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle made the first row. The second row an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in settings of gold filigree. There were 12 stones with their names according to those of the sons of Israel, engraved like a signet, each with its name according to the 12 tribes. And they made at the end of the breastplate twisted chains like cords of pure gold. And they made 2 settings of gold filigree and 2 gold rings, which they put on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 twisted cords or woven chains of gold in the 2 rings on the end edges of the breastplate, and the other 2 ends of the twisted cord or chain of gold they put on the 2 settings and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod in front. They made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, on the inside edge of it, next to the ephod. And they made 2 other gold rings and attached them to the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod underneath, in front, at each joining above the skillfully woven band of the ephod. They bound the breastplate by its rings to those of the ephod with a blue lace, that it might lie upon the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosed from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. And there was an opening for the head in the middle of the robe, like the hole in a coat of mail, with a binding around it, that it should not be torn. On the skirt of the robe they made pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet stuff and twinned linen, and they made bells of pure gold and put them between the pomegranates around the skirt of the robe. Bell and a pomegranate, a bell and pomegranate, round about on the skirt of the robe, for ministering, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made the long and sleeved tunics woven of fine linen for Aaron and his sons, and the turban and the ornamental caps of fine linen, and the breeches of fine twinned linen, the girdle or sash of fine twinned linen, and blue, purple, and scarlet embroidery, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it an inscription like the engravings of a signet, holy to the Lord. They tied to it a lace of blue to fasten it on the turban above, as the Lord commanded Moses. Thus all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting was finished, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so the Israelites had done. And they brought the tabernacle to Moses, the tent and all its furnishings, its clasps, its frame boards, its bars, its pillars, its sockets or bases, and the covering of ram's skins made red, and the covering of dolphin or porpoise skins, and the veil of the screen, the ark of the testimony, its poles, and the mercy seat, the table and all its utensils, and the showbread, bread of the presence, the pure gold lampstand and its lamps, with the lamps set in order, all its utensils, and the oil for the light, the golden altar, the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, and the hanging for the door of the tent, the bronze altar and its grate of bronze, its poles and all its utensils, the laver and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars and sockets or bases, and the screen for the court gate, its cords and pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of meeting of God with his people, the finely worked vestment for ministering in the holy place, the holy garment for Aaron the priest, and the garment of his sons to minister as priests, according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So the Israelites had done all the work, and Moses inspected all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Lord had commanded. So had they done it, and Moses blessed them. Exodus 40. And the Lord said to Moses, On the first day of the first month, you shall set up the tabernacle of the tent of meeting of God with you, and you shall put in the ark of the testimony, and screen the ark of God's presence with the veil. You shall bring in the showbread table and set in order the things that are to be upon it. And you shall bring in the lampstand and set up and light its lamps. You shall set the golden altar for the incense before the ark of the testimony outside the veil, and put the hanging or screen at the tabernacle door. You shall set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and you shall set the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. And you shall set up the court curtains round about, hang up the hanging or screen at the court gate. You shall take You shall take the anointing oil and anoint the tabernacle and all that is in it, and shall consecrate it and all its furniture, and it shall be holy. You shall anoint the altar of burnt offering and all its utensils, and consecrate, set apart for God the altar, and the altar shall be most holy. And you shall anoint the laver and its base, and consecrate it. You shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tent of meeting, and wash them with water. You shall put on Aaron the holy garment, and anoint and consecrate him, so he may serve me as priest. And you shall bring his sons, and put long and sleeved tunics on them, and you shall anoint them as you anointed their father, that they may minister to me as priest. For their anointing shall be to them for an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moses according to all that the Lord commanded him, so he did. And on the first day of the first month in the second year, the tabernacle was erected. Moses set up the tabernacle, laid its sockets, set up its boards, put in its bars, and erected its pillars. Moses spread the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent over it, as the Lord had commanded him. He took the testimony, the 10 Commandments, and put it into the ark, and set the poles in the rings on the ark, and put the mercy seat on top of the ark. Moses brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up the veil of the screen and screened the ark of the testimony, as the Lord had commanded him. Moses put the table of showbread in the tent of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle, outside the veil. He set the bread of the presence in order on it before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded him. And he put the lampstand in the tent of meeting, opposite the table on the south side of the tabernacle. Moses set up and lighted the lamps before the Lord, as the Lord commanded him. He put the golden altar of incense in the tent of meeting before the veil. He burned sweet incense, symbol of prayer, upon it, as the Lord commanded him, and he set up the hanging or screen at the door of the tabernacle. Moses put the altar of burnt offering at the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and offered on it the burnt offering and the cereal offering, as the Lord commanded him. And Moses set the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar and put water in it for washing. And the Moses and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet there when they went into the tent of meeting or came near the altar. They washed as the Lord commanded Moses, and he erected the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging or screen at the court gate. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud, the Shekinah, God's visible presence, covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tent of meeting because the cloud remained upon it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. In all their journeys, whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the Israelites went onward. But if the cloud was not taken up, they did not journey until the day that it was taken up. For throughout all their journeys, the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was in it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel. so much. Precious David, 소중한 영식님, 소중한 제이님, Precious Joseph, 소중한 오토드림님, 소중한 조아님, Precious Robert, thank you so much. Precious Annette Parma, Precious Oliver Sanderson, Precious Philip, 소중한 별하나님, thank you so much. 너무너무 감사드립니다. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.